We looked at 4 market structures in total. The most basic is perfect competition, where the market and the firm are distinct from each other. In perfect competition, the market decides what the market price is for the firm. The firm's decision is simply how much should we sell at that market price. We call the firm a price taker. Since the price is constant, the marginal revenue is also constant, and that curve is the demand curve of the individual firm. There is a demand for the firm's product at that market price. MC equals MR tells you what quantity to produce to maximize profit. You draw the average cost curve in. If the average cost is below the market price, you have economic profits. If the average cost is above the market price, you have a loss. Perfect competition, the firm takes the price from the market. The other extreme is a monopoly, where there is no distinction between the firm and the market. The market demand curve is the firm's demand curve. The firm faces the entire market. Now, when the demand curve is downward sloping, I've done this a few times already, the marginal revenue is exactly 2 times as steep as the demand curve. When demand is downward sloping, the price is greater than MR. When I sell an extra unit, my extra revenue is not equal to price. Because demand is downward sloping, I need to reduce the price of the previous units as well. Same profit maximizing rule, MR equals MC, tells the firm how much to produce. You look at the demand curve to decide what price to charge. That is strictly a monopoly. That's the extra handout we gave you with last week's notes for monopoly. Please do the reading of that extra handout. Now, there is a special case of monopoly called a natural monopoly. Demand and MR are exactly the same for a natural monopoly, but the marginal cost curve is flat. A natural monopoly is something which has a huge fixed cost, so the fixed cost overtakes the variable cost in terms of magnitude, so the extra cost is not J-shaped anymore, it's very low and flat. Same profit maximizing rule, MR equals MC, quantity price. The other special feature of a natural monopoly is the shape of its ATC curve is no longer U-shaped. In a natural monopoly, the ATC curve has a downward sloping shape. It looks like your average fixed cost curve. It's simply a special case of a monopoly. Back to the usual case of a monopoly. If the monopoly is making profits, economic profits, the average cost curve, it doesn't have to be in the middle there, that's just a coincidence. The average total cost curve, if it's below the price, you will have economic profits. If you have economic profits and you're a monopoly, you can keep them in the short run, you can keep them in the long run, if you're making profits. If you're making losses, you would leave in the long run. If you're making profits, no one can enter the market, you can keep those profits in the long run as well. Monopolistic competition looks similar graph-wise to monopoly in the short run, in that in monopolistic competition, your products are differentiated, so demand is not flat like in perfect competition. Demand is downward sloping like in a monopoly, but not as steep. But either way, the demand curve is downward sloping in monopolistic competition. If you have supernormal profits, if you have economic profits in the short run, monopolistic competition, you can enter the market. When new firms enter the market, if this is monopolistic competition now, if this becomes a monopolistic competition model, new firms enter the market, it does not shift supply to the right, like in perfect competition. Rather, when new firms come to the market, they steal demand from the existing firms, and the existing firms lose demand. Their demand shifts to the left. The demand curve shifts to the left until all your economic profits have disappeared. So monopolistic competition in the long run, you find that the average total cost curve hits a tangent at the demand curve. Because new firms have entered the market, they've decreased demand, the demand curve has shifted from D1 to D2. D1 used to be somewhere there. Demand keeps decreasing as new firms come in. New firms steal demand from old firms. Keeps shifting until the price and average cost are equal. So that is similar to perfect competition in the long run. The fact that price equals average cost. But there is still a markup in monopolistic competition, and there is still excess capacity in monopolistic competition compared to perfect competition. There are similarities in that the price equals average cost in the long run, but monopolistic competition, you do have a markup and you are not operating at minimum average cost. I won't go through oligopoly because you just saw that today. That's the entire course summarized in 45 minutes. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can come and see me. Other than that, have fun with the exam. Wow. The diagram is not correct. MC equals MR. Profit is here.
Oh, okay.
Always MC equals MR first.
Thank you.
Yes, because there's an externality, so imposing the tax actually helps the market become efficient. Otherwise, anytime the market is not efficient, government intervention can make it better. Anytime the market has no externality, government intervention makes it worse. So the market is good by itself. Political reasons, it's beyond economics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.